So, Dictate of Crufix? Huh? Anyways, we're here with Leovold, Emissary of Trest, 3 mana 3/3. And then it has kind of the Narset thing. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. And then the bottom part is sort of a reverse Nadu. Whenever you or a permanent, so Thoughtseize or Lightning Bolt, a creature or something, targeting you or permanent you control, you draw a card. You can you can still protect this, like if you get targeted and then it draws you into Spell Pierce, then you Spell Pierce your opponent. Like, you know, it's got that thing. With Narset around, the top part has already been around, and in 1v1 it isn't that crazy, right? I mean, Narset is kind of around. It's not all over the place, but it's, you know, it's around. And its ability isn't too insane. It's like Orcish Bowmasters, where there's kind of a reason you don't really see that a lot, even though it's like $100 card on paper and goes into a lot of EDH decks. It's just very good in multiplayer, right? Extremely powerful effect in multiplayer. 1v1, not as great, but it's still okay. You know, you're still going to stop some things. There's also Seek now, because Alchemy is a thing for some reason, and this doesn't actually draw. There's playing cards off the top of your deck. There's simply doing anything in the color green, which is the best color in the format, and that probably doesn't really care about the top part too much. The bottom part, also, green, the best thing you can do in the format, doesn't really care too much about that part either. So, it doesn't feel too crazy, but it is banned in normal EDH as far as I'm aware. And it's been that way for, I think, a long time now, too. I think it's been banned for quite a while, which is kind of funny. Because I don't know if it's too insane now. But the top part is probably pretty egregious in multiplayer. But that's not the format we're playing. We're playing Timeless Brawl, so Leovold. Days Undoing, wheel effects are really good, so the same with Narset. You know, you play this and then you draw 7, your opponent doesn't, right? That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. There's a few of those. There's a couple more, but I think the 3 mana ones are like the big ones, and all the others are something you probably don't even have to run. Like, is this better than taking extra turn? I don't know. It's debatable. I don't know. Howling Mine effects work too, where your opponent can only draw 1, but you draw 2, and that's pretty cool. Now, this doesn't pan out too well if your Leovold is removed. Then you feel kind of bad that you just gave your opponent Howling Mine. Normally, symmetrical effects I just don't advise ever playing, ever. Usually, when you have these, you're not necessarily pulling ahead just because you're the one that cast it. You had to be the one to put it into play, so you went down a card over your opponent, and then it starts drawing. So it has to make up for itself. So you're already kind of behind. And I believe upkeep, yeah, so your opponent also actually draws before you do off this card. So it's, all parts of it are like slightly favoring your opponent out the get-go, and then it's a symmetrical effect, which, again, I'm not really a big fan of these. So if this dies, at least it's a symmetrical effect, but I don't know. At this point, you could just not even worry about much of the text box on this, because you're just Sultai, and this is just like a side thing. It isn't giant or scary. It's not going to bludgeon your opponent to death too much. It's kind of like Nashi. Nashi might just be the best still Sultai commander, I would say. And they're doing something somewhat similar. You know, you have the 7 mana door to nothingness card. Yeah, that's really about it. So let's... Oh boy, craft 2 mythics. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. I just got them too. Oh no. Oh, alright, well, we got it out of the way. I pushed the button, I wasn't looking. Let's play the game. Well, I didn't expect the mirror. I haven't seen a Leovold player yet, so it's interesting. I'm just going to run out Mox so they can't discard it. Ideally, I draw a land. I really wish this Mox was a land. Come on! Just one land. Did I move? Oh, I didn't touch the land count. I did not touch the land count. Didn't touch it. Yep, opponent just has everything they need. Well, day late and a dollar short. Let's get you. I just have. I'm casting this, so maybe we can wash away Leovold. All right. Wow. We stumbled and still got there. The wheel effects have not done anything. Maybe I could take all of them out. I still can't take out Days Undoing, though. But like this one. Speaking of taking it out, can I keep this hand? It's kind of sad that the best... I think what we're going to... After this game, we're going to reevaluate. We're going to do some big stuff, I think. I have an idea. I'm just going to run this out. I'm just going to run it out. Leovold, not really super useful in this matchup, but it can block, I get. Well, yeah. Imagine trying to block. Imagine trying to block with a 3-3 in 2025. And have it actually work. It would be nice to cast Leovold on the same turn in which I, you know, maybe actually cast those. 1, 2, 3. Let's play you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute, is this a wizard? Oh, it is a wizard. Okay. You have nothing? What the heck? How do you have nothing? Okay, well, I'm just gonna make it awkward for you then. Let's No. We don't cast this. What am I talking about? We don't cast that. Worst fears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. I'm not even really stealing a really good turn or anything anyways. Okay, well, this is what you get for not playing the game. Expropriate. We could wheel our hand. I mean, our hand is not great, so we could cast something like Days Undoing. What about these three? What about just a ton of value? I feel like this is excellent, right? I do not care about the current cards in play. So yeah, this is just great. I'll take that. We'll just take cards here. Okay. Works out. Consult. Removal. Draw 3. Should have stacked these in the opposite order. So this could draw with a more understanding of what's in my hand. I did not play a land. Okay. I don't think I'm brainstorming, but I'm not going to crack the fetch land. Well, opponent, what do we do? 3 a turn. If my opponent is just... Are they just so scared of Leovold that they just cannot fathom casting a card? There's no way this wins, right? Like, what is my opponent expecting? What's the outcome of this? Like, in 10 years from now? I don't understand. Like, you're just not playing the game. You've done 10 damage, I guess. Fatal Push... Narset? I'm not even gonna Fatal Push until my opponent's end step. I'd rather my opponent not know about that. That's fine. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, no, we just pass. Brainstorm. I'll push in combat. I really don't want to push, though. Alright, I'm gonna push in combat. Fine. Fine. Okay. My wishy-washy, feely turn decision didn't work out anyways, so not too upset. Again, 3 damage a turn is not winning the game. I'm just so baffled that my opponent doesn't want to do anything. I'm just so blown away about that. How can you, like, how do you expect 3 damage a turn to get there? It just doesn't feel like it makes sense to me. I feel like you're just asking for the impossible. I'm probably at the point where I'll at least try to do something about this with one of these. Well, then they will actually have to do something. Another land is not necessary. Cast Ponder. Days Undoing. I already have that effect in my hand. I don't need Baleful Mastery. Alright, I'm shuffling. Let's just unable to scream it. And then this means my opponent has to actually play the game. Someone just so utterly, insanely convinced that they have to kill Leovold when it resolves. I can actually cast it 3 times. Like, I don't know what's going on. I never even used the Mox Amber. Oh, yes I did because of Narset. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for making it easy. Now I can just... Now they can't even do anything. I can just do this now. Yeah, we just cast this, right? Yep. I get to see my opponent's hand that way. Okay, I didn't draw anything. Kind of tragic. Kind of tragic. What did my opponent have? Removal, 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 and a 3-drop. 3 removal spells, a 3-drop, and now I don't have anything. They should have cast their commander. That just made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? No 1-drop. I do have Days Undoing. Removal, ramp. I mean, it's doing everything else, but the 1-mana card. That's fine. Is that fine? Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm alright with that. Ideally, they don't have a 1-drop. But if they do, so be it. Alright, let's play that. And we can do this into planar spaghetti. If planar misses and we don't draw a land, then I guess the world is over. The world will end almost immediately, actually. almost immediately. I see not a reason to play it outright, so I'll pass. Especially if my opponent has to now consider counterspell. My opponent did not play a 1 or 2. Interesting. I usually say if you don't play a 1 or 2 in Historic Brawl, it's just lights out. Is this crop rotation? What? Okay, they put Kogla on top of their deck. That is a bit nuts to me. I'm down with it, though. Let's put you into play, take action to it. We're going to play Cultivate. Harrow doesn't do it. Harrow would have done it if I drew a land, but that's okay. Cultivate does it. Blue and black? Green, green, yep. When this enters, draw a card. That's, I like, this is notably not an angel, by the way. It's just straight up not an angel. Okay, can cast Harrow and also cast Binding. So that and that. Man, it's just so sad. The green is just, look at that. I add a bunch of green cards to my deck and then it's just so much better now. Oh man. It's so sad. You just can't play the blue and black. Oh my goodness. The more cards are added, the less we have to play with in the format. Green is just like so good. Green, green. Speaking of green, I did need another blue source for this Emergent Ultimatum, but I probably... Oh, wait, no, they played a Thalia, so I wouldn't have been able to do it. Do I need this? Actually, it doesn't matter, because I have this. Okay, I shouldn't have grabbed... Wait a minute. I can just wheel. No. Why would I ever wheel this exact situation? It doesn't make sense. There's no reason to do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's play this. I'm okay with playing the ring. Let's just play the one ring. I don't have to tap it again. It's just mana efficient. Saves me some life, technically. But I can't say that matters too much. Okay. So we gotta be careful. All spells cost an extra 1. And we're good. Okay, we're good. Expropriate. Worst fears. Damnation? Yeah, that's fine. I can't say I care about my opponent's board state, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Otherwise, I think we were moderately fine. Quote unquote. I'm gonna fetch for Watery Grave. And I'm gonna cast Preordain. Looking for some kind of removal spell. Burgeoning is a little too late. It's not great past turn 1. I don't need another land. Especially if... Okay, I was about to say, especially if I just draw it anyways. One has the best 1-drop in their whole deck. I have nothing here. Literal nothing. Apparently my opponent has a protection spell, which... oh, no, they don't. They do not. Leovold doesn't do anything against green decks, so I think I'm not playing Leovold here. Let's get Swamp. I don't know, I had to manually tap for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no, nothing there. I think we're just going to play Leovold in the land and call it a day. That way they can't draw. And I don't really care about ice till the second land drop doesn't. Like, you go from what? 10 to 12 mana? I don't think that really matters. I just might as well play it. There's nothing else to do anyways, so I'll just spend my mana. Other creatures have trampled. Sure. So we have a 1 ring protection turn. This is probably Crater Hoof. Wait, what's happening? Is my opponent manually stacking triggers? Why does Rofellos manually stack triggers? That's weird. I think that's what happened there, unless there's like a bit of lag. Okay, they just didn't get... What? Why didn't they get Crater Hoof? This is fine. I mean, especially with haste. Rhino Titan's fine. It's just like... Crater Hoof just kills me, doesn't it? I suppose it doesn't matter what you get, as long as it's actually castable and big and scary with haste. It just doesn't matter. Like, you don't need Crater Hoof here. They also might not actually have Crater Hoof. That's also a possibility. I find that not very likely. You're playing Sarok and Goreclaw. I think this person probably has Crater Hoof. Let's get a forest, I think. You know, a forest makes it easier to top deck an ultimatum. So next turn we have the ring, and the turn after that we have expropriate. We could expropriate first, but I don't see a reason to. So I'll just lead with the ring. Ghost Vacuum is also a bit strange, isn't it? Feels a bit strange. Let's surveil. Do we surveil or we want this? No, we can surveil. That's fine. That's fine. Memory lapse. Well, can I draw it and play it? I cannot. Go away. Pass a turn. I could have if I... No. Yes, I could have had I... If I was willing to Dark Ritual, I could have done that in the same turn cycle, but I really don't see why stopping Primeval Titan matters, and I don't really think it does. I don't think it does. Also, Memory Lapse might want to be a different card. I thought I took out all the counterspells except Mana Drain. I must have missed that one. It's not bad. It's not like it's a bad card or anything. Here it obviously doesn't do much with Delighted Halfling, but still. Could have countered this. It's not a legendary. I'm going to tap. Yeah, we'll just do this now. There's no reason not to. Okay. And then we shift enter. So I can pay 7 here to... Oh no, it has to be 8. It has to be 8. They did not get Cavern of Souls, and Gaia's Cradle doesn't matter because you already had Omniscience, so that didn't matter. You should swing with Titan instead of use it to crew the thing there. Well, this is a spot where Ghost Vacuum could get you another Primeval Titan, or something that you might want to play. I don't know. Strip Mine Ancient Tomb. Huh. No Cavern. Strip Mine Ancient Tomb. strip mine. What? Wait a minute. Is it me or does that just not make... It feels like Raphaelis doesn't want strip mine, like, ever. Okay, so... do this. Now that I drew Damnation, maybe that's just better? Maybe that is just better here. Yeah. They can get a Primeval Titan, but that's just fine. Let's draw. We could recache... Because Toxic Deluge is likely to be cast, I'm not going to Dark Ritual Leovold here. The haste threat is gone. They did not end step the Ghost Vacuum. I think that was a mistake. Definitely feels like a mistake. Cityscape doesn't have haste. Just sort of sits there. Interesting. I could actually just Toxic Deluge that. Do I care about... Why do I care about this? It worked out that I did not cast Leovold. That's for sure. That's definitely something that happened. Alright. One ring. Get in there. Do the dumb. Pier is half of my deck. And then I can... Alright. We're over it. They're on the play. I have a Llanowar Elves. This is a weird... This is a really weird hand. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Any hands that keep with Forest Llanowar Elves. They used to say Island was the best card in Magic. I think now it is Forest. Does that change anything? It actually kind of does. It actually kind of does. Let's not cast Llanowar Elves. Can hide behind Toxic Deluge instead. Not super likely I play it this turn, though. Okay, yep, this seems to be the case. No shuffle. Just cast Assemble the Team. A land is fine. Ramp spell. Win the game card in 10 years. I think I'd just take a ramp spell here, though. I think that's a good idea. Although the One Ring is... Alright, we'll take a ramp spell in the form of removal. Look at that. We found the line. Ideally, there's a Mana Dork here. Of course not. However, they did not play a land, so I can get rid of Birds of Paradise here. What's that do? They didn't play a land. And they top decked a land. Of course it did. Alright. Get a 2-drop? Nope. I drew the One Ring anyways. Let's blow up Caber Ready Spaghetti. I always say it. For some reason, Pantlaza just always has Get Lost. And this is Get Lost mana. That is currently what's going on. They need another land to cast Pantlaza. Alright, runner, runner. Get Schmieded. Nice Cavern of Souls. It'd be a shame if it didn't have to name, you know, get Schmieded. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't expect Leovold to do anything except draw a card, but to me that's kind of worth it. Because that's all it really can do. Okay, my opponent can also maybe just not care about it. It's also valid. Okay. World Wagon? Oh, they just worked. Interesting. Interesting. Man, Brawl players are fast. I love it. Person's blitzing. Zipping and a zooping. Okay. Sure. I don't even have to make a move on that. Oh my goodness, am I ahead? Against Brawl? In 2025? Treasure hunt? Okay. Interesting. So it was a combo deck. Alright, never mind. I thought I was ahead. Clearly I'm not. Silly me. I had to counter the treasure hunt. I had to counter treasure hunt, not anything else. That's my bad. Rip. I actually would have won if I did as well, so that's like super embarrassing. Oh well. I should have known too. Should have known what was going on with the treasure hunt. Should have countered it. I got it. But hey, look, I'll take it. Alright. If I knew what was going on, we would have won. I can't be upset about that. I've played against Sparky 1,000 times. I've seen this player all over the place. Another hand with no green. Kind of annoying. Is Flubs annoying? Let's see. Yes, but Leovold is better, so we're gonna do that. Oh, of course our opponents get it. Why wouldn't they? Of course our opponents get it. That is a colorless land, by the way. That is a colorless ramp spell as well. Interesting. Looks like that birds was really important, huh, opponent? Tragic. I will Daze Undoing, if given the chance. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, they drew a land, too. Oh, this is so good, though. Alright, No, it's still right to just name... Okay. Get me to... I mean, Leovold stops their commander, and I should just Days Undoing, though this is just good, but... yeah, we just Days Undoing. We just Days Undoing. Oh, look, it's Mana Drain. Fun. I enjoyed myself. Another problem with Mana Drain is when you cast it, your opponent concedes. Like it doesn't lead to interesting content. No one wants to watch you cast Mana Drain on turn 2 every game, and then just your opponent concedes. It's like, look how good my commander was. Oh no, Mana Drain. Mana Drain won all the games for you. You didn't have a commander. I don't have a good Mana Drain, like, mana value situation right here, but I'll still cast it on kind of anything, you know. Oh, never mind. I subconsciously did not want to cast it, so I grabbed a tap lamp. Joke's on you. We're not gonna Maelstrom Pulse. Maybe Mana Drain's even better. Whenever... Okay. Weird. Defense of the Heart. Alright, well now they can't really play another creature. Like, they just literally cannot play another creature until they deal with this. Might not be a lot of ways to deal with it, so... we shall see. That doesn't deal with it. And there's no... Oh, Light of Hope does it, I guess? Yeah, Light of Hope does it. Specifically. Looks like they got one that... They might have actually full stop got Force Spike. In fact, I think that's exactly what they got, so... Just cast Leovold? No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's Force Spike here. Yeah. They can't be anything else. That's a very annoying set of cards I just grabbed there, huh? That's very annoying. Let's get rid of Maelstrom Pulse. And just hold these... Oh, wait a minute. I can play this and sack it. I don't need to put a land in play, and they can't Force Spike any part of this. So that works out. That's nice. Alright, found the line. Almost didn't see that. Let's get a blue and a black. No, a black and a green? No, blue and black is fine. Okay, that worked out. That worked out. Still can't play another creature. Until they randomly spin into Light of Hope with the Tome. Which is a 1 in 10. Double Force Spike doesn't stop this now, so I can blow up Tome, and they're back to having to do something about it, so... Okay, I don't know what the second one is. It could be a whole bunch of different stuff. But one of them is a Force Spike. Also, dodging Duress by actually casting my spells is a good idea. They would have cast Light of Hope first. They randomly generated Swords of Plowshares. Excellent. Still leaving up 4 spike. A day late, $1 short. Doesn't really amount to much here once the read has been read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I have an 8 in my deck? No, I don't. It's still right to cast this, I think. Although I could just cast this. Actually, you know what? Let's just cast Deadly Cover Up, because that way I know my opponent's hand. I like that. So let's get rid of it. You can just see what my opponent, their hand is. We name swords because they can have, and probably do have, a real swords in their deck. So, yep, there it is. Overwhelming Splendor, Ulamog, Elish Norn, Weird Nonsense, Weird Nonsense. Of course, they have Skyclave, why wouldn't they? Beseiju. Weird Elish Norn, Mana, Frogify. Alright, bunch of other nonsense there. And we pass. Nothing in hand gains life for the opponent. Yeah, you can just read what it was by priority. My opponent's still willing to leave it up, which doesn't amount to anything when... Oh, no, utter insignificance is what they leave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think there's a 9 in my deck either. There really isn't any incentive, honestly, to hold this card. So I think I'm just going to cast it. I'm trying to think, is there an 8 or a 9 in my deck? I don't think there's either. Yeah, we were just casting it. Cast Leovold and block with it. It gets the Frogify out of hand. There's nothing else to do with this card, so that's what I'm going to do with it. They just... I mean, at the very least, I just draw, right? I think it's always right to cast it, because it at least draws a card. Oh, they didn't target it. Oh, opponent, you're supposed to target it. What are you doing? Toxic much? Opponent is, using their brain. I don't like this. Okay, maybe they're going to get punished for trying to use their brain, though. Alright, did you top deck an I win the game card? Alright, nope, you're wrecked. Look at that. Locked under, or I'd say slowed down by defense, which is funny because, well, no, it's not that funny. Obviously, I have something to put into play with defense, but if I didn't, like if I had 2 of the giant things sitting in my hand, they wouldn't know that defense didn't do anything, but it obviously did do something. Was going to. And then we just top decked the 7-mana Door to Nothingness. I will say the deck building part of this was probably my favorite part of this. I just like Sultai decks. I actually haven't really played a lot of Sultai lately. Was the last one just Nashi? No, we played the weird lizard scaly thing from Final Fantasy that is Muldrotha but not Muldrotha. So I've played Sultai recently. But so yeah, Leovold does kind of suck. I said this in the intro, or at least I was maybe a bit more polite about it, but Leovold's just not good. These 2 abilities, just Nadu is better for the bottom one than Leovold, and Narset, or excuse me, just the top part isn't very good in this format. 1v1 it's just not great. In multiplayer it's insane. I kind of wish this got unbanned in regular EDH, but it doesn't really bother me that it isn't unbanned. It's just weird. I'm going to get into a tangent about EDH if I don't stop myself right now. Yeah, so I'm not going to actually talk about that. It's not what we just did. We played Historic Brawl. The green situation is so good. I tried to play like, blue-black things in my Sultai deck, but you just get swamped by green decks that don't care about either of these. I mean, a lot of decks don't care about either of these regardless, but green in particular doesn't. It's the most played color, and it is the best color, so you're already at a disadvantage there, especially when I was trying to really not play a ton of the green 1 into 3 green ramp nonsense. But this is still so good that it just completely nullifies what Leovold even aims to do. I should probably have put, well, more green cards in here, but the other Days Undoing effects back in. I took them out because they weren't doing anything. But if I could just ramp, like playing this turn 2 was never a thing. Or when I got 2-3 manas, let's say turn 3, it just would rather always play Haro, Cultivate, World Wagon, Heaped Harvest. Like, I'd rather play any of these Uro instead of this on 3 mana. Some matchups, maybe not the case, but most of the time that is the case. Some decks do want to draw, and you can sort of stop them, but the decks that are interested in doing any kind of draw-go thing can just simply kill this and then go back to doing whatever it is they were doing. And you drew a card, but you're not Nadu, so you just drew one card and then it died, and then you're back to just doing the probably whatever ramp into some wing game spell. So it doesn't really work in the way I want a Sultai control kind of deck to work. Therefore, the end step, instant speed, playing your opponent's turn kind of thing, there's just a lot of better commanders for that. Like, Nashi is just... It's going to be very hard to replace Nashi because it has Flash now, and that completely and utterly changes everything about Nashi. Like, the entire 99 is now different because it has Flash, and you can play that Sultai control game. I think my old... Actually, let's look at it. I was taking a gander at it, comparing to... this is just way different. This is about where I think Leovold kind of started, was more like this. Actually, a lot like this is where our Leovold list started. And that's actually a good side-by-side. You know what I should do from moving on is, like, save a copy of the starting list and then show what it looked like by the end of it. Actually, I should start doing that. That's a good idea. Oh, I'm so smart. So yeah, this is where it ended up. And going back to Nashi, they looked almost the same, and this is just where Leovold wanted to seem to pivot itself into being. And I mean, you could probably play mono green Leovold, and I might even try to just play mono green Leovold, because to me that might just be better than some of these black and blue cards that we had in here. I think that would just be better in that way. But then you would just kind of be a worse green deck than all the other ones, because your commander kind of isn't great. I think there's a commander in green. Funny enough, I think... Hold on, what is it? Surak? Surak is right. Like, Surak is uncounterable. But whenever whenever something's targeted, you draw. So actually, this might just be better as the quote-unquote mono-green Leovold, and you just draw cards. It doesn't have the top part of your opponent can't draw, you know. But hey, it's uncounterable. That might be nice. I'd say Leovold's a little bit better than that card, to be precise. But yeah, like if you want a Sultai control thing, just play Nashi. Nashi also has the ability to combo with the command zone. Like, your commander is a combo piece. You flicker it over and over and just pick up extra turn effects. You just eventually will win. Emergent Ultimatum is almost always a 7 mana win the game. There was a game where I did cast it, and I cast Expropriate, took 2 extra turns, and I cast Worst Fears, which is the Mindslaver effect. And I still lost that game. Believe it or not, I took 2 extra turns, and my opponent lost their turn. It's not like it's Emrakul. You steal the turn, and then it goes right back to you. So I kind of took like 3 turns in a row, and I still lost. Which at the time, the way the deck was built, should just not happen, right? If you take 3 turns in a row, or you take 2 extra turns, and you steal your opponent's turn, and then it goes back to you for your 3rd turn in a row, and you don't win, there's something wrong. So after that had happened, I had to really change a lot of stuff, because it should not happen, ever. Almost, I'd argue, even if you're just in top deck mode, there's a lot of scenarios in which you have no business losing in that situation. They had Scute Swarm, so Worst Spheres didn't really do anything on their end. I couldn't stop the 55 tokens, and then it went back to me. I couldn't find anything. I was actually 1 card off of drawing this. I was looking for Damnation, and I could have actually found it off the Emergent Ultimatum, but again, the 2 expropriate Worst Spheres. If your opponent doesn't auto-concede, you're just likely to hit what you need. But yeah, this card was 1 card down too low for me to cast it and stabilize through all of that. So honestly, it kind of almost got there, but I had to reevaluate. That effectively should not happen, and that made me change it around a lot. Losing to green because it doesn't care about your commander at all means you either accommodate that situation, concede to 75% of your opponents because everyone's playing green, or if you can't beat them, join them, which is just play green cards yourself, because the Sultai mid-range situation is gonna demand a lot of green cards. I wasn't playing heavy into creatures. You probably can, though, because this doesn't care just about itself. It's all of your permanents. Actually, I think Nadu is the same with creatures, right? Yeah, so you don't have to target this for it to die, but your opponent is obviously going to target this first, because otherwise you just draw a bunch of cards, and that's not ideal. But if you have big enough or scary enough threats in play that they have to kill, then I suppose you have the chance of drawing multiple cards. And I think Surak does sort of do that. So if you want the... Oh, there it goes. If you want the Sultai mid-range beatdown kind of thing, you might just want to play Surak as your commander, and, you know, now you don't have to actually think about anything. Who needs blue or black cards? You just play this. You lose access to, like, Dark Ritual, which is unfortunate, but that's fine. You're mono green, you don't care. I never cast Emrakul. I think I got close a couple times. I got way closer than I was getting when I had Ulamog in here, and that cost 4 less. Once I added the ramp spells. So I think just having some kind of giant dumb thing to not only, I guess, not get decked out, just have this thing eventually you cast that wins that can't really be stopped forever, quote unquote, because if it is removed, you can find it again. It's very difficult. It's extremely difficult to permanently deal with Emrakul. I think Rest in Peace does it. So, like, Graveyard Hate does it. Ghost Vacuum technically does it. There's ways. It's just a little hard to do that. Obviously, I'm talking about a scenario that doesn't happen that much anyways, where, like, the only thing left in your deck that could actually win is Emrakul, and the game isn't over yet. That would imply that your opponent doesn't have anything that would be killing you, because if this is your only win condition in your deck left, you might not have a lot of ways left to also stay alive till you find it, because the game has just apparently gone on that long. But hey, I don't know, if you mill protection, mill protection for that one time you saw mill 3 years ago. Now you really get them good. But all in all, just not a very good commander. I can't really recommend it. There's just better Sultai commanders. There's better mid-range green beatdown things that don't quite care about the other 2 colors. There's literally just playing Nadu in the command zone. This has a lower bracket, I think, though, so if you care about that. Also, the casting cost is a bit steep. There's no generic mana in it. Ancient Tomb was just like the Niv... Actually, Niv Mizzet, it was better, because Niv Mizzet was flooded with mana rocks. So this might have actually been even worse deck for Ancient Tomb. I did try to play only the ramp spells that do get cast off of Ancient Tomb, so none of the double green ones, really. So I could actually, like, use this on turn 2 a lot more often, which is where it's, like, really good, or, turn 1. But Yeah, I don't know. Just not that great. Not that great of a commander. I like Sultai though. I mean, I like it in almost any iteration. Emergent Ultimatum is a fun card to cast and just simply win. It would be yeah. Oh yeah, Worst Fears. Right. This card specifically, finding Worst Fears didn't really feel great. If your opponent loses their hand because you've wheeled it away with Leovold, or they just ran out of cards or something, and they can't draw additional cards because Leovold's in play, then you can't really blow them up or blow them out of the water with their own cards because you have Leovold and they don't have a lot of cards in their hand. So Worst Fears doesn't exploit your opponent's hand too well in this deck. And the combat situation is not too bad either because I don't have a lot of creatures to make bad combat decisions for my opponent. It's like I just have a 3/3 sitting there, and I can't like kill an Eshki that's at 4 or whatever. So that is a little awkward there. Yeah, Worst Fears didn't pan out too well. In fact, it's funny that a lot of people actually just gave me Worst Fears off of Emergent Ultimatum. Like, haha, I got you. And then I realized, like, oh, Mindslaver you in this spot actually wasn't that great. So I took it out. And I think Emergent Ultimatum got better because of that. I think there was actually a game I got Treasure Cruise Dig Through Time, Expropriate, just at 7 mana. Treasure Cruise Dig Through Time is certainly very good. Draw 3, then look at the top set. It's like draw 3 and then stock up. I think that's worth 7 mana. I did win that game. I think that I did that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I have for it. Probably a few cards that could have been in here. I mean, again, the wheel effects were just not doing anything, but they could probably come back in because I have so much ramp. I could now reasonably cast Leovold and the wheel in the same turn. So I don't just have to try to untap with Leovold, which was another issue, just like Niv Mizzet was having, where I struggled to actually just like untap with it, even if it isn't that scary. It's like people say, oh, I'll just kill it because I don't really have anything else to do. 3 mana draw a card is sometimes what it was. Your opponent discards a removal spell and you draw a card. That's what your commander said because they killed it. And they're like, all right, that's fine. So, yeah. Let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, yeah, Glarb, too, yeah. There's just so many other Sultai things. Just doing way better things. I forgot about Glarb.